Good evening, everyone. I believe I should wait for another 2-3 minutes so that everyone can join. Right now it's 5:59, so let me wait for another 1 minute. I believe my voice is clear to everyone. So let's wait for another 1 minute. It's right now it's 6. So okay, so I'm starting. It's 6 right now, and I hope that this webinar will be useful for everyone. Thank you all for joining. Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to have you all here. Today, we are going to explore a visionary global blueprint that aims to create a better and more sustainable future for all of us. So, friends, dear educators, we are going to discuss the Sustainable Development Goals, or the SDGs, today. Now, so, what are SDGs? Let me discuss. The Sustainable Development Goals adopted by United Nations and member states. So, the United Nations and its member states, they have decided for these goals in 2015. And here are a set of 17 interconnected global goals designed to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure peace and prosperity for all of us. Now, as you can see on my first, in this slide, what are SDGs? Now, there are subdivisions of the slides. I will be discussing regarding it one by one. We live in a world facing challenges such as climate change, inequality, poor health system, lack of education, and environmental degradation. The SDGs offer a shared roadmap to overcome these challenges, not just by government, but through education, innovation, and community. So it means education, innovation, and community plays an important role. And here is a list of 17 sustainable development goals which were adopted by the United Nations in 2015 under the 2030. Right now we are in 2025, so till 2030 they will be able to achieve these targets. Each goal addresses a critical global challenges. As you can see on my screen, my dear educators, that goal number 1 is no poverty and poverty in all forms and from everywhere, zero hunger, end hunger, achieve food security and improve nutrition and promote sustainable agriculture. Good health and well-being, ensure that everyone achieves good health, quality education, which we are going to discuss today, my dear friends, that what quality education is and how it can be obtained. Gender equality, achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. Clean water and sanitation facility, ensure availability of sustainable management and water and sanitation for all. Affordable and clean energy, ensure access to affordable and sustainable as well as modern energy sources. Decent work and economic growth. Economic growth should be there. Industry, innovation, and infrastructure. It means there should be changes in the infrastructure, in the innovation pattern of the industry. Reduced inequalities means inequalities which are there in the world, that should be removed. Sustainable cities and communities, make cities and human settlement more inclusive. Responsible consumption and production, ensure sustainable consumption and production pattern, my dear friends. Climate action, take urgent action to combat climate change and its impact. Life below water. Now, conserve the life or the marine life which is in ocean, seas, and other water bodies. Life on land, protect, restore, sustainable use of ecosystem, manage forest, etc. Peace, justice, and strong institution, as you can see, goal number 16, my dear friends. So, promote peace and inclusive societies, provide access to justice, and build effective, accountable institutions. Partnership for the goal. My dear friends, partnership for the goal is very, very important. Strengthen global partnership to support and achieve these targets, which UN has decided will be able, that they will be able to fulfill by 2030. Now, 4 highlights of 2030 agenda. Sustainable Development Goal, the heart of the agenda of 17 Sustainable Development Goal, which cover key challenges like poverty, inequality, climate change, environmental degradation, peace, and justice. Now, their agenda is leave no one behind. The agenda is grounded on the principle of inclusion, in ensuring that development reaches the most marginalized population of the world, universal and integrated. So it's not only for one specific country or one specific area, it is for everyone. The SDGs apply to all countries, whether it's a developing country or a developed country. Partnership based approach, because we have to achieve these targets. So in order to acquire these targets, dear educators, we want to collaborate with government, private sector, civil society, and citizen. And time frame, which I have already discussed, its time frame is 2015. They have started thinking over these plans in 2015, and by 2030 they will be able to achieve these targets. Now, vision of 2030 agenda. We are determined to end poverty and hunger in all forms and dimensions, and to ensure that all human beings can fulfill their potential in dignity, equality, and in healthy environment. Now, what is the purpose of the agenda? For everything, there is a purpose. I believe my voice is clear and it's clarity for everyone. Now, removing poverty and hunger. If you want that I should be bilingual, it can be very easy for me. Just drop in the chat box. Ensuring health and well-being, promoting quality education, combating climate changes, promoting peace and justice, building strong institutions, fostering innovation and infrastructure, and ensuring sustainable use of natural resources. Now, if you can see that relevance of SDG goal globally and for India means what are its significance for the entire world as well as for our country, the third subdivision. A unified global vision, my dear friends. The SDG offers a common framework for all the nations of the world towards sustainable, equitable, and peaceful world by 2030. Addressing critical challenges. What are these critical challenges? Poverty is there, hunger is there, climate change is there, education, gender inequality, and more. And we all are working on it to overcome these challenges. Balance between people, planet, and prosperity. They promote a holistic model of development, integrating economic growth, social inclusion, and environmental sustainability. Inclusive and participatory. Now, the agenda excludes everyone. See, we have to overcome a big challenge, right? So for that, they have taken a 15-year of time period. Government, business bodies, educators, youths, and citizens should come step forward in promoting global cooperation. Foundation for global peace and justice. Goals like peace, justice, and strong institutions are very, very essential for long-term global harmony and development. If peace is not there, global harmony will not be there. right? In relevance of the SDG goals in India, now significance in India, how does India plays an important role? India plays a crucial role, a very important role in the global success of SDG. With about 1.4 billion of Indian population, Indian progress directly impacts global achievement for the goals. Now, poverty and inequality. Now, we all know that in our country there is poverty and rural urban gaps are still there, so we need to bridge up that gap. Quality education, the NEP 2020, that is National Education Policy, it aligns with the SDG, and they are constantly working upon it so that this gap should be curtailed. Gender equality, empowering women in India through education, employment, leadership roles is the key for unlocking national potential. Health and well-being, India's public health infrastructure is going, but still the rural areas face challenges. Any question? Okay. Now, clean energy and climate action. India is a leader in solar energy and faces challenges in rural areas because we see that there are still problems penetrating sustainable cities. Now, what are sustainable cities? Urbanization is rising. India needs smart infrastructure, housing, waste management, and green ecosystem. Now, sanitation, like Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, which we all know, we all are aware of it very well, is working constantly, but access to clean drinking water and sanitation facilities still remains a challenge. Employment and innovation, the SDGs are working on it. Now, Indian commitment on SDG. The Niti Aayog, if we talk about, is a national body tackling the progress of SDG. In what sphere, in what pace the SDG is working, the Niti Aayog is working on it. India has launched missions like Atal Mission for Regeneration and Urban Transformation, Ayushman Bharat, Digital India, Beti Bachao for the girl child. So these all are constantly working. Now, these are not just goals of India. A sustainable future for the world begins with a meaningful action at home. If we are strong enough at home, we will be able to overcome the challenges, right? Now, if we talk about the fourth part, focus on SDG 4, that is quality education, my dear friends, right? So education is right now I'm not looking at the chats. I will be addressing it in the later half. uh, why SDG 4 matters globally. Education is a human right, and every child, regardless of the background, deserves access to learning opportunities, foundation for all other goals. So it's the foundation for all other goals. Education empowers people to make informed choices, break the cycle of poverty, and lead a very healthier and safer life, promotes peace and gender equality. Quality education fosters respect. With education only we can have a mind with which we will be able to take decisions wisely, tolerance and critical thinking, leading to more inclusive societies. Lifelong learning culture. The goal emphasizes not just schooling but skill development. Nowadays, skill development is very, very important. We are moving away from rote learning to competency based learnings, right? Key targets of SDG 4: free, equitable, and quality education for all, access to early childhood education and pre primary care, equal access to affordable, technical, vocational, and higher education, skill for employment. Now, skill is also requirement for any employment, any job, right? Eliminate gender disparities. Earlier it was male dominating society. Now women equally participate. Ensure youth and adult achievement in literacy as well as in numeracy. Education for sustainable development, human right, and global citizenship, my dear educators. So now, how we are working, the national education policy, it's working on it. Now emphasizes quality education, flexibility, and holistic learning. Overall learning encourages foundation literacy and numeracy, multilingualism, and vocational education. Support inclusive education for children with special needs. Earlier they were neglected. Now all are considered into account. Digital transformation is in education. We all have observed that after the COVID period, there is a rapid speed up in digitalization. Post COVID, India has seen that online classrooms and digital initiatives have paced up. They have taken a lot of speed, whether it's Diksha, whether it's SWAM, or whether it's PM e-Vidya. But challenges still, because access is still limited. We need to work upon it. Skilling for the future. It's not making people educated. It's just grooming their skills also. Schemes like Skill India, Samagra Shiksha, National Skill Development Mission are the central for achieving. They are the center, and they are targeting to achieve quality education. That is SDG Goal 4. Challenges to overcome in India. Infrastructural gaps are there. Lack of toilets, libraries, and digital tools is still penetrating in our country. Low enrollment in secondary and higher education still exists. Teacher training is still insufficient. Quality assurance and learning outcome. Inclusive education for disabled children, children with special needs. Now, way forward, if we see we have to invest in teacher training, focus on early childhood care and education, bridge the digital divide, and more of technological access should be there. Strengthen vocational and life skill education, promote value-based education, is education which is based on value for sustainable development and global citizenship. Now, if we want to change the world, my dear friends, we must begin from the classroom. SDG 4 is not just about literacy. It's not only about saksharta. It's about building thinkers, leaders, and responsible global citizens. And I believe you all will agree to it. So, now, why SDGs matter for education? Education is the key driver for sustainable development. We all know educated students, educated teachers, educated citizens. They are like the thread in which the other sustainable development goals can be woven. They provide a platform. So it's the most powerful weapon which we can use to change the world. It's a quote by Nelson Mandela.
आप सर्व कर देना, चलो तुम्हारी घर की बात है, एक 20 कर दो, चलो तुम्हारी और
Now I request to mute, please. Education empower individuals with knowledge, skills, values, and attitudes to make informed citizens and take responsible actions for removing poverty, health and well-being, gender equality, climate changes, peace and justice. Now, SDG 4, the foundation goal, right? Now, education is the foundational goal. We all know that. So educated people are more likely to promote clean energy, adopt healthy lifestyle, and support gender equality. Promotes equity and inclusion. The SDG promote inclusive education, ensuring access to girls and women, citizens with children and disabilities, marginalized communities, especially of the rural areas, refugees, and the minorities. This helps to create fair and equal learning opportunities. Earlier, equal learning opportunities were not there. Now we are giving, especially with the NEP, equal learning opportunities to all. Teaches global citizenship and sustainability. Now fosters environmental consciousness, educated mind. Naturally, it will create awareness, develop a sense of global responsibility. Yes, earlier we were not that much aware. Now we know what is the harm which plastic is doing. Encourages respect for human rights. We respect our culture. At the same time, we should respect and promote the culture of other. We are global citizens now, my dear friends. Skill for future. The SDG pushes education system to shift from rote learning, right? The ratification which we know to 21st century skills, emphasizes problem solving, collaboration, innovation, and empathy. Promote lifelong learning so people can adapt to rapidly changing global needs. In the Indian context, if we talk about education aligned with SDG will help India issue dropouts, gender bias, learning gaps, and digital inequality. The national education policy in India is a blueprint for SDG, and it takes care of the curriculum in the best form. Now, SDG matters for education because education shapes the people who shape the future, especially the teachers. When we bring SDG into our teaching, we are not just delivering content, my dear friends, we are building character, consciousness, and the capacity for change with a deeper understanding for everyone. Now, SDG links education with sustainable societies. Ensure, if you can see my slide, link education between sustainable societies. How it's linking, we are going to discuss. Ensure equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. So how these lifelong learning opportunities are available? Now, if we are talking about poverty, so when a person is educated, education improves earning potential. Literates are skilled individuals, are more employed and financially dependent. And how it's linking with the society? So it's removing poverty, means stronger communities are there in our society. Now, good health and well-being. If we talk about SDG Goal 3, educated individuals make healthier life choices, and healthier citizens contribute to lower healthcare burden and higher productivity. Productivity becomes more. Now, gender equality. Education empowers girls and women to claim their right and participate equally in the society, reduces early marriages and increase female leadership. Now, again, how it is linked to the society? Gender equal societies are more demographic, prosperous, and sustainable. Now, again, if we talk of SDG Goal 6, that is clean water and sanitation, education arises awareness about hygiene, and informed and citizens, or you can say educated citizens, they are able to support better sanitation practices, decent work, and economic growth. Education leads to skill building. We are skillful, innovative, and entrepreneurship. Technical and vocational training is there, and educated problems drives inclusive economic development of the economy is more. It's at a rapid pace, reduces inequalities. It's SDG goal number 10, my dear friends, the slide which I have already shared. Education bridges the social and economic gap between communities, promote tolerance and inclusion. Now, reducing inequality creates more peaceful, balanced, and fair societies. Now, if I'm talking about sustainable goal 11, that is sustainable cities and communities, education fosters urban planning and knowledge, and educated citizens contribute to cleaner, safer, and smarter communities. Now, SDG goal 13, that is climate action. Now, when we are educated, we know what will happen to our climate if we are not going to take care. Now, peace, justice, and strong institution, goal number 16 of the SDG goals. Again, with education, civic and moral education builds respect for law, justice, and human rights, reduces conflicts, reduces difference, reduces disparities, and peaceful society starts in classroom that teaches empathy, equity, and ethical thinking. Right? Education as the enabler of all SDGs. Now, education is a common thread, my dear friends, that weaves through Sustainable Development Goal, that is SDG 4, quality education. It empowers people to the change makers, decision makers, and peaceful builders. Without quality education, progress towards other goal becomes meaningless and unsustainable. So equity, inclusiveness, and lifelong learning is very, very important, which you can see in my slides towards the bottom. Now, these are important pillars. Now, the important thing is, what are the its key aspects? Focus on fairness and not sameness. Every individual have different ideas and opinion. Supports marginalized age groups, children with disabilities, tribal communities, rural communities. Addresses socio-economic barrier. Digital gaps are still there in our country, not in our country but throughout the world. Language differences are there, so these are the hurdles, these are the barriers which we need to overcome. Why it matters? Equity ensures that no child is left behind because of where they live, who they are, or what they have. And what is inclusiveness, right? Ensures that every learner, every person who is learning, regardless the ability, regardless the background, gender, or status, have access to meaningful participatory learning experience. Now, involve special needs children in regular classroom. We are not leaving them behind, right? So they are the learners on the way. Encourage culturally relevant and gender sensitive things. Trust and respect for diversity. So we should have respect for the diversity, for the cultural differences. And why it matters: inclusiveness education build tolerant societies and help to reduce discrimination or exclusion. It aligns with human right, that is gender, SDG 5, gender equality. We are respecting our culture, at the same time we are respecting the uh, culture of different other communities also. Learning lifelong learning of the idea does not stop at school. It continues throughout the life. So covers early childhood to adult education, includes formal and non-formal education and learning, promotes skill for employment, personal growth, and citizenship. In fast changing world, the capacity to learn is constantly very important than ever. It supposed SDG goal 8, that is decent work, and goal 9, that is innovation by building future ready population. Future ready populations should be there with skills, right? And upskilling is also very, very important. Equity will give access, inclusiveness gives belongingness, and lifelong learning gives purpose. So that is why the SDG is very, very important. Indian education system and current landscape. Now, demographic dividend and educational demand, challenges, what are there, and how NEP 2020 National Education Policy 2020 aligns with SDG, we are going to discuss now. Indian education landscape is in 2025 is a story of transformation. Transformation means change driven by reforms under NEP 2020. Technology, embedded technology is there. Innovation is there. Growing focus on equity, on skill, right? So it's working on it. Now, what is demographic dividend? If we are talking, the demographic dividend refers to the economic benefit that arises in a country's working age population. So in every country, there is a population which is between 15 to 16 years. So it's called the working population. And if the working population is more than the population which is of children community and elderly, then what are its advantage for our country? Over 65% of the population in our country is under age 35, expected to be the world's largest workforce. It means India has a large human capital. Human plays an important role in bringing the changes and bringing the reforms. Median age is around 29 years, but we need to earn this dividend. Human population is there, human capital is there, but if they are not skilled, if they are not educated, how we will be able to achieve SDG goal 4? It must be earned through investment and human capital. Why education is key to unlocking the dividend? Without quality education, the skill training, the young population can face uh, unemployment, low productivity, social and economic instability. Dear educators, Zoom is telling that 10 minutes is left. I would request each one of you with folded hands to rejoin again, as Zoom takes a buffer time of 10 minutes. So it will take 10-minute buffer time. I will be forwarding the link at that moment. I believe you all will cooperate and consider my request. Innovation, entrepreneurship, and global competitiveness. Education reforms need to be harnessed. We need to get. So foundational learning is important through NEP. Skill-based and vocational learning is very, very important, my dear friends. Curriculum modernization, focus on critical thinking, digital literacy, AI, and financial skill. We all are using these. We are using AI tools nowadays. Reduce rote learning, the traditional method of learning, to competency-based learning, which we have already, where we are using our mindset, right? Now, teachers' capacity building program should be there, because if educators are updated, they will be able to carry it forward. India's action plan, National Education Policy 2020, uh, uh, first step towards holistic, inclusive, and skill-driven. Skill India mission aims to train over 400 million people by 2025. Digital India, expanding reach of quality education using technology. Now, educate to empower. If we want to empower our country, our world, then we need to educate. India's demographic dividend is a limited time offer. With right education reform, it can be a foundation of a golden century. Without it, it can be a disaster. Now, moving ahead, key targets of SDG 4, SDG 4 in detail, and quality education. Universal and primary and secondary education. Now, the target is that every child, whether it's a girl child or a boy child, completes free, equitable, and quality education in primary as well as secondary level. Early childhood development should be there. Equal access to technical, vocational, and higher education, not only in primary and secondary level, but to all the other categories also. Relevant skill for workforce, skill development should be there. Increase the number of youths and adults with relevant skills for employment, decent jobs, and entrepreneurship. Gender equality and inclusion. Eliminate gender disparities. Everyone should get the equal right, the equal opportunities. Youth and adult literacy should be there. Education for sustainable development. Ensure learners acquire knowledge and skill. Promote sustainable development, including through education and lifestyle. Human rights, gender equality, peace, and global citizenship, which are very, very essential. Now, scholarship for developing countries. For developing countries, scholarship is very, very important. It motivates them, it encourages them, it boosts their moral. The number of scholarship for students from developing countries for enrollment in higher education, number of enrollments will increase. Teachers training. Increase the supply of qualified teachers, especially through international cooperation for training in developing countries. So in developing countries, it should be taken into account. Moving ahead, we have the curriculum. So integration of SDG goal 4 into Indian curriculum. How does curriculum plays an important role? Alignment with NEP, that is National Education Policy. As you can see in my slide, emphasizes on universal access to quality education from primary to secondary level. Foundation of literacy and numeracy through Nipun Bharat, right? Holistic and multidisciplinary learning approach across all stages, whether it's the pre-primary, primary, or other stages. Focus on critical thinking, values, and life skill. Curriculum reforms that is changing the curriculum is also very, very important. Equity and inclusiveness, environmental sustainability, global citizenship education, gender sensitivity, and integration of moral and value-based education is very, very important, my dear friend. Inclusion of marginalized group. Now, when I'm talking about marginalized group, it means the leftover people, that is girls' education, which were not taken considered into account, children with special needs, tribal and rural communities, and for that, midday schemes to improve the number of enrollment should be there. In order to improve their health also, it should be done. Digital education and technology integration should be there. Digitalization is very, very important. We are able to connect with each other only due to digitalization. Diksha portal, e-Pathshala to provide open digital content for all. PM e-Vidya for remote learning access. Focus on bridging the digital divide among rural and urban communities. So that gap should be minimized. Vocational and skill education should be provided, and assessment reforms. Reforms in assessment pattern should also be there. Move from rote learning to competency-based learning. If there is any question, I will clear. Like Parak, we all have heard performance, assessment, review, and analyze of knowledge for holistic development. So, reform in assessment pattern should also be there. Now, moving ahead, my dear friends, role of teachers. Teachers play a very, very important role in promoting SDG goal. Teachers play an important role. I would request to mute, ma'am. Please mute yourself. I request you. Teachers play an important role in achieving the sustainable development, especially the SDG 4. But their influence, its importance, its significance extend to all the 17 goals. As educators, as mentors, as change makers, as teachers, we need to shape the young minds so that they become responsible, informed, and empathetic global citizens. The roles of teachers in promoting SDG. See, we teachers, we all, the people who have joined me, I play a very significant role, a very important role. If we are updated, we will be able to clear everything. Integration of SDG concept into curriculum. So in curriculum, the SDGs should be embedded. Use interdisciplinary teaching content with subject like science, social science, language, and art. Encourage project-based learning. Promote global citizenship. Foster values like respect. We want our respect for ourselves. At the same time, we should respect others also. Empathy, equality, and justice. Promote understanding of cultural diversity. Right? So, understanding of cultural diversity. We respect our culture. We need to respect the culture of others. Prepare students to think beyond national boundaries. We are global citizen now. Models for sustainable practice led by examples. Right? Use eco-friendly practice, reduce waste, conserve energy, integrate green practice, which we all are doing, my dear friends, in our schools, right? In our day-to-day life. Encourage community engagement, whether it's cleanliness drive, whether it's health awareness camp or social awareness. Facilitators for digital literacy and lifelong learning. Teach students to use technology, right? Encourage online learning platform, mentors for values and ethics. There should be mentors for values and ethics so that SDG should be taken care of and it can be promoted, right? Use formative assessment technique. Teachers are not just content delivers, they are nation builders, future shapers, and agent for global changes. So we all need to work upon it. Now, my dear friends, it's showing only 1 minute. So before I move to the next slide, I would request you, we will start with school level and implementation. Request you to rejoin again with the same link, but it will take a buffer time of 10 minutes. If you wish, you can leave now. I am ending the meeting and I will be rejoining again, my dear friends. Thanks for your support and cooperation. I will be sending the feedback form in the chat box. You all can fill and generate your certificates in the given email or the provided email ID to you, my dear friends. Thank you so much for your valuable time and contribution.